Roger once again, Mud Fossil University, with some interesting looking geological formations, which I believe are biological formations and are of a reptilian nature. Now, that's to me some kind of scales. And there are other structures here that are also quite unique and not what you would expect to see. Now, I have been looking at this whole area quite a bit, and it's a very, very interesting area. Now, there's so much here that is very hard to attribute to just geological formation, especially after I found a dragon in the desert in Morocco. I have tuned my eye to see these obvious. I mean, anybody that's looking and would really want to assess something with a critical eye would say this is kind of unique structure, unique colors, and the blood chemistry is transition metals, and you can see them. They got all kind of stripy looking colors in here now. And then it keeps going down to where it gets more and more into your abdominal sort of stuff. So I came back out of here and I decided to look around. Now, people have been saying, oh, go down and look down to South America, the end of South America, the tip. There's a snake's head down there. So I looked, and sure enough, it sure looks like a snake's head to me. You know, there's a couple of eyes, and there's now all these teeth. I just said, well, a snake only has a couple of fangs. They don't have teeth like that normally, that I know of. Maybe they do. So I looked at the ancient sea serpent pictures, and they all had a bunch of teeth. So this is not unnatural now. And then I looked at this, and this almost looks like a diamondback pattern on this guy's back. So now, if you follow it up, I know it looks like it curves down to South America, down to Antarctica, and maybe it does. I don't know. I'm just looking at what I see, and if I followed it up this way, then it goes up to that stuff that we were looking at a while ago. This is where all the intestinal stuff is up here. So, as I backed out of it, I thought, well, what if it was a snake? What if it did come around all the way up here? And this body was all in this area, and then it got snaky and so forth. And I followed it up, and you saw the stuff that I just showed you. There's like all kind of scaly looking things, and as you go down, it looks like it has a structure to it of some sort. And that's all I'm saying. I don't know if it does or not. And you follow this down and down and down and down and down. And then it gets to the end over here, and then I don't know what it does, whether it just tapers off or it goes off this way. But is that a snake? I have no idea. But I can tell you one thing, this is biology in here, and those were the things I was showing you are some kind of biology. That's all I can say. All right, Mud Fossil University, a citadel of truth and quite strange revelations. It's just what it is. We just show what it is, and you can decide how you want to interpret it. Anybody that's been following the mud fossils knows about the dragon in the desert, and these are the same sort of scale patterns as we're seeing there in South America. Now, this, of course, is over in Morocco. And this is the dragon's decaying body over, and this is his head right here. Alright, and that is his throat. And it's the same sort of thing. It's got all the patterns, and this one here is much more well defined. And it's exactly the patterns that you see on all the dragons in the festivals they have in Asia. But anyway, this I've gotten a bunch of videos about this, and this is it's decaying in the desert. Hasn't been there that long. It's on top of the ground on the desert, so there's a lot to be discussed here. Now, let's go back to that serpent in South America. All right, so let's wrap it up with the snake here now. And again, so I didn't find this thing myself, and there's several people mentioned it to me. I really can't remember who it was, and I appreciate everybody contributed to so that we can get these things looked at, you know. And I'm sorry, I just forgot who it was, to be perfectly honest with you. But and this was a while back. I just haven't had the time to look at it now. It sure looks like a snake's head or a serpent of some sort to me, and a scaly looking stuff. And as it goes back up the coast here, you know, it sure looks like it's got that swing to it, like the snake. And this was all where that intestinal stuff was. And this whole trench here is completely separated. It's a very, very distinct separation, and it's continuous, 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 just like the dragon was in Morocco. And it comes all the way up the side of the United States, all the way up to here somewhere, and the tip of the tail appears to stop. And if you go in and you look at the you know, you know, all the different little, it's a scaly looking effect running all the way down. And I've seen a lot of scaly looking things, trust me. I've seen, you know, and this is a scaly looking effect. There's something here that is from nature. And you see this everywhere. Oh, these lines are everywhere in the Grand Canyon. Well, that's right, because the Grand Canyon is 100% biological, as everything is. So don't just say, oh, everything's like that, it just happens. No, it doesn't just happen. And it doesn't just happen like this at all. This is extremely biological, and extremely, no question whatsoever, that something was creating some form of biological patterns of scales and so forth. Because if you can see that and say that is not, that's a biological feature, a geologist would say that, and then I would just I lose faith in the people that would just say that because that's what they have to say. Not because it's true, they have to say it. Who could see this? Look at it, two green stripes and two brown ones in the middle. Dragon scale looking stuff all over them. And this is all natural. And that's what they're going to tell you from a geologist. And I'm sorry, I have no faith in geology anymore. It's totally wrong, and it's obviously proven wrong now. So, Mud Fossil University, Citadel of Truth, a oasis of intelligence in a desert of delusion. All right, I will see you there. Mud Fossil University. Subscribe, ring the bell, whatever it is you have to do to make sure you get the messages, because this is a continuous flow of information. There is so much that needs to be conveyed.